What's up, you guys? In today's video, I will be diving into a plugin that I've been dying to use for a very long time. And that plugin is Dehancer. Dehancer is a plugin used to emulate that classic film look. So before we go over to Adobe Premiere, these are the 4 things that I will be covering in this video. How to use Dehancer. Who is Dehancer for? How much does Dehancer cost? And my honest opinion on this plugin. So let's jump over into Adobe Premiere right now. Okay, you guys, I am here in Adobe Premiere. This is my editing suite. This is what I choose and love to use for editing my music videos, short film, and all the other fun content that I create. But you also can use DaVinci, Final Cut, After Effects, and I think there's a few more. You guys can go on Dehancer's website to check out those additional software that you can use to edit. Okay, so what I typically do, as you can see in here, I already have my clips in Adobe Premiere and I'm ready to begin my edit. So this is basically a short film that's probably going to end up turning into a full-length film. It just depends. That I helped DP recently. So this is a few clips from that. This is basically supposed to be an 80s. This film took place in the 80s, and so this is supposed to have kind of an 80s type of look when it comes to the way that I grade this project. So Dehancer, I hope, is gonna be the best option for me to get that look. So when I edit, I typically, and I suggest most people should add an adjustment layer and do all your edits on an adjustment layer, so you don't have to go back. If you have multiple clips from different scenes or you're making a lot of cuts, you don't want to have to go back and update each clip when you have to make an adjustment. So it's easier to just add an adjustment layer and edit on this adjustment layer. So if you ever have to make a change, you just changing, you're making a change on the adjustment layer versus on each clip. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to my effects tab. I'm gonna go over here to video effects. And Dehancer's already in here, but a quick way for the people that don't know, just type in Dehancer, find the plugin and drag it onto the adjustment layer. So it is on there now, but I'm gonna turn off a lot of this because it automatically has some of these effects already added. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn everything off so we can get a good idea and a good starting point, so you guys can see that before and after look. Turn all of this off. I think that's basically it. I think maybe Vignette is on, no. Okay, I think that's everything. Only thing that's on here is already been converted to Rack 709. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that with Dehancer, you're shooting log, flat, and you want to convert your footage to Rack 709. In this case, it's already converted to Rack 709. As you can see here, it's pretty much flat. So we're gonna go, well, matter of fact, let's look at it again. So it's not really flat because Rack 709 is already on the clip. So let me turn it off, sorry about that. So you see here, it's flat. Rack 709 added, brought in a little color. You can go in right here and select a particular camera. I'm gonna choose not to go that route on this particular scene or this sequence. I'm gonna leave it at Rack 709 and I'm gonna just start from there. So what I'm gonna do is open up this film tab, and what I typically do is find a look that looks good for this particular image. We can start, I mean, you can start at the top. As you can see, there are so many. Matter of fact, let's go back. Let me go back. Let me slow this down. Let me go here and go in and actually open up the camera tab so you guys can see all the options of cameras that you actually have here in Dehancer. So you got even the iPhone here. You see the iPhone, you got the Blackmagic, Canon, you got the DJI, you got Fuji, you got Red, Sony, Sigma. I mean, you pretty much have all the cameras. It's crazy. All right, so I'm gonna close that out. Go back to Rack 709, and we're gonna go here to the film tab, and I'm gonna select the look that I wanna go for. And I think I like this Kodak Supra 100. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn that on. And as you can see, that is a pretty good look, already starting to kind of come together. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and open up Film Developer, and I'm going to play around with this contrast. So I'll boost that up just a little bit. Turn it on, boost contrast, that's a little too much. So maybe around like 20. 20 is good. And I'm gonna go ahead and bring in some of the color, because it's really flat looking. So let's give it some color. That doesn't look too bad. I like that. So we from there to here. That's just 2 tabs, and we already starting to look pretty good. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm not gonna go through all these tabs, because I mean it's a lot, and some of this stuff I don't actually use. So I'm not gonna go into it too deep on the tabs that I don't use. Go ahead and go to Film Developer, and then Film Developer, you basically excuse me, not Film Developer, Film Compression. And so here you can kind of get a little bit more, like play with your whites, kind of dial them whites back a little bit. So that's this kind of, if you look how the whites kind of got washed out, so I can kind of tone those whites down some. And then I can also, you can see what this does. Sometimes it's hard to see exactly what each one of these tabs do. And plus this image is kind of, this is a wide shot, so you can't really see the detail, especially like on the skin tones, to kind of see what's going on with the skin tones. But as far as this particular tab, I don't do a ton here. I really just make sure that the white, but you can play with this and kind of see what goes on here. Like for instance here with the tonal range, I can bring that probably to 35 just to tone down the overall exposure just a little bit, and in the highlights. So I'm gonna go ahead and close that tab, and I'm gonna open up the print tab. This is a fun tab to deal with. In this tab, you can deal with your saturation, which I tend to keep that around. It just depends on the look. Some people like their images saturated. Some like a little bit more desaturated. I'm kind of in the middle. Some images, I just don't want to see a whole lot of color. But in this image, I think color is cool. And then let's see, the color density doesn't do a whole lot. You can see what's going on. If you look at the top of the car there, you see it's bringing in the blues a little bit more saturated. So I can bring that up just a hair. So we're gonna close the print tab, and then we go to the color head tab. And this is where you can you can basically deal with like your yellows and your blues on this tab here. And as you can see it, once I turn it on. So you can see if I got it up to 50, you're bringing in a whole lot of blue. If I go back to -50, you're bringing in a lot of yellow. I'm gonna leave that at 0. I'm really not gonna mess with any of that. But what I will mess with is the shadow. So right here, As you can see, you see if you can really see the shadows are being tinted. I go all the way down. If you can see, it's kind of, you start seeing that blue coming in the shadows. I don't want to go that far down. I'm probably go to about maybe 13. That's still looking pretty good around 13. Mid-tones, I'm gonna probably crank those up just a hair, but you can see going all the way to 100, you can kind of see what it's affecting. I'm gonna come back and I'll probably go to about maybe 20. Yeah, maybe 15. That don't look too bad. And like I said, I'm gonna go to another clip, you guys, so you can kind of see. This was all shot at the same time of day, these 3 clips. So I shouldn't have to make any other adjustments on these other clips. You know, possibly, you know, play with the shadows and highlights a little bit, but for the most part, the adjustments I'm making on this wide shot should hold for the close-up you're gonna see in a second here. I think that is pretty much it. I'm not gonna mess with the highlights at all, and impact is kind of, it's nothing. I'm not gonna mess with that. You guys can't really see what's going on, but I think it's moving the highlights a little bit, so it's raising them or lowering the highlights. So if I turn this off, it's very faint, but you can really see it if you pay attention right in here. You can kind of see that is, you know, some contrast and some colors coming into these edges right here. All right, so I'm gonna close that tab and I'm gonna go down here to Fil Grain, which is almost the final adjustment I make, but this is the adjustment that makes everything kind of mesh together. And so let me go ahead and turn it on, and as soon as I turn it on, you can see a major difference. Looking at this, that is way too much for me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dial this back a lot. I'm gonna take the amount of grain down to about 10, and the resolution, I'm gonna leave that where it's at. I'm going to bring the mid-tones down about 25, and I'm going to bring the highlights down about 25, and see what that looks like. That doesn't look too bad. It's still a little much, so I might come down to 5% here. That's starting to look a lot better for me. And that's probably what all I'm gonna do on that. So you can see it kind of helps. It lifts the shadows a little bit, and then like I said, you see that it adds that grain, which makes this looks really good. All right, so now I'm gonna do the last tab that I deal with is this Vignette tab, and I love what this does. It's so subtle. So I'm gonna go ahead and click it, and boom. So you guys can see what it does. You can kind of see. So I like to, like when I'm dealing with vignettes, I like to make it as dark as possible, and then I kind of start playing with the settings to see, you know, where I want it centered. So I'm playing with the sides now, so it's basically making that the center of the vignette a little bit wider. And so now I think that looks pretty good. So now I'm gonna dial back to probably about right there. Looks pretty good. And halation, I'm just go back up just to talk on a little bit. I'll let you guys see what happens. But halation, it pretty much adds like this kind of reddish glow to the image. You can look in the trees back here, and you can see it kind of, you see this red glow kind of appears. I think that's more stylistic, and you can use that when you want to use it. But for this particular shot, I'm not going to use it. And the bloom is basically similar to the Black Pro Mist filter. If you guys ever use that, it basically blooms the highlights. It makes the whites look a little bit more soft and kind of I guess I could just say soft. It kind of, you know, makes it look more soft and not so hard on the edges. And that is, for me, that's basically all that I use. You know, you have false color in here, which you turn this on, you'll be able to see kind of where I'm overexposed and underexposed. So as you can see, the sky is pretty much, especially in this area, is kind of gone. But I mean, this is not a bad exposed shot, especially we shot this in the day, obviously, but we didn't use any other lighting or anything like that. I mean, it's just a straight up outside shot. All right, so with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off so you can see where we were and where we at now. And then what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna jump over to another clip, and you can kind of see, like I was telling you guys, you know, it looks good. I mean, it's literally like, look, it didn't take us that long to get from here to here. Let's go to the next clip. Now it looks, look at that. That is amazing. That is amazing. It probably would take a little bit more of that grain out, but I mean, you can leave it and it's beautiful. This is crazy. This is crazy. I mean, so I'm gonna play this for you guys. It may lag a little bit, because I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest. This plugin is very healthy, so you gotta make sure your computer can, you know, your computer is got plenty of RAM for sure, because it's pretty heavy. But as you can see, I'm editing right now on a MacBook Pro M1 Max, so it handles it pretty good. But like I said, I also got this at a quarter, so if I go to full and I try to scroll through like that, it's gonna start dropping frames. But it's still handling it pretty good. But if I hit play, that's not bad. So this looks really good. I really like this. And keep in mind, you guys, I've only been using this for about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. And imagine me using this, you know, for 3 months or 2 months, and I started getting some projects under my belt. Man, like this can elevate your game really easy. It's hard to even believe that I didn't use Lumetri. I'm not even using any of Adobe Premiere's like effects, none. I don't have Lumetri up here at all. I just use Dehancer, and that is it, nothing else. And to get this look that quick, that is crazy. Wow. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So let me play that back one more time for you guys, so you can kind of, I'm playing in half. Let's go. I am very impressed with this plugin. I am very impressed. Wow. So after reviewing this plugin for the last 2 weeks, who is this plugin for? In my opinion, this plugin is for anyone that is looking to up their editing game, looking to get that cinematic look, looking to get that film look. Dehancer got you covered, hands down, and you can do it in less than, you can get that one clip, you can get that done in like 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes at the most. You know, if you want to spend a whole, more time, then spend as much time as you want to tweak it and make things exactly the way you want. But you can get that film look with this one plugin, and that is it. So how much is Dehancer? Dehancer for a lifetime subscription is $449. To some, you may think that's kind of steep. For others, they say that's nothing. It's definitely worth it. Me, I think it's worth it. I think if you if you're the type of person that's taking, you know, what you do, your filmmaking seriously, this is something I think, this is a plugin that you should have in your arsenal. Maybe you should, you know, they do have an option where I think it's like $2.99 for a year. If you're gonna spend $2.99 a year and at the end of the year you're gonna be looking like, man, I should have just paid the $4.49 and I won't have to deal with this. So to me, it's worth it. To others, maybe, maybe not. So how much is Dehancer? Woo! No, I'm just playing. Dehancer is $4.49 for a lifetime subscription. I think it's $2.99 for a year, $1.99 for 6 months, and $1.49 for 3 months. Some people are gonna say this is very expensive. Others gonna say, hey, it's worth it. My opinion is definitely worth it. If you are serious about what you're doing, you're serious about filmmaking, you're serious about getting an edge over the competition, this is something I think you should have in your arsenal. I don't think it's that expensive. I think if it's something that you want, when it's time for you to get it, you're gonna know. But like I said, Dehancer, I think is worth it. My final thoughts on this plugin, I think it's a great plugin. I think it does exactly what it says it does. It's definitely gonna give you that film look, and it does it very quick. I think that the interface could be a little better. Maybe they can come up with something that had the dials a little better, or just kind of like, you know, there's more of a interface that fits within Adobe Premiere. That would probably be one suggestion, because, you know, this is a lot of tabs. So, you know, sometimes I think people kind of get overwhelmed when they're looking at too much. It's not a big deal. You just got to get in there and play around with things, and eventually you're gonna know what you like to use and what you don't like to use, and you'll just use those tabs. As far as you know, how heavy it is on your computer, I would say you just got to make sure that you have a computer that's up to date, it's pretty fast. And like I said, my computer is very fast, but I typically edit. When I'm editing, I usually turn the quality down to about 1/4 and sometimes a half. Doesn't bother me at all. I do it, like I said, I shoot with a Canon R5, and I also have a Red Komodo. The Red Komodo is 6K. The computer handles it fine. It's a little sluggish when I was editing 6K footage with Dehancer, but with the Canon, as you guys can see, it wasn't that bad at all. So that would be the two things, I'd say my two gripes, but overall, that's not really a big deal. Technology is speeding up yearly, so these computers are getting faster and faster and faster. It's really not a big deal. Outside of that, I think we have come to a conclusion in this video. Thank you guys for watching this video with me. If you do want Dehancer, be sure to look in the description, and I have my promo code sitting in there for you guys. Go ahead and go over there, and you'll get a little discount from Teflon Media. And thank you, Dehancer, for giving me the opportunity to review you guys' plugin. I think you guys are awesome over there, and keep up the good work. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And I'm out.